Morning all. How are you all doing? Sorry, I'm late today. Completely behind schedule. How are we doing, Monkey? Morning. FDNet, James, how are we doing? Um, today is Friday. It's the last day of trading before Trump gets in. Morning, Evil. So, yeah, it could be an interesting day today. Morning, Paul. Morning, John. So, today's the last day of normality before Trump gets in, and there's a possibility that we might see a swift exit for some markets today, but we'll wait and see. There's not a lot of news today to drive the market, so we've had today's news pretty much. We had the retail sales for the pound come out this morning as a negative, big negative, so potentially continuation short on the pound. And we got building permits this afternoon. That's it. And then on Monday, obviously, Trump comes in. So you might find that some institutional traders want to reduce risk and just get themselves into a position of lower risk because of uncertainty coming next week. Because next week, basically, Trump is going to start putting into place all the plans that he's had, which means signing new trade deals, that sort of thing. So there's potential high volatility coming in the US next week. So when we get expected things like that, you tend to get a large move as positions basically get unwound, ready for deciding what to do in the future. So the Fed's come out and also said, obviously, we've no idea what to do with interest rates because we don't know what inflation's going to do, because we don't know what Trump's going to do, which is going to affect inflation, which means we need to think about interest rates later. But they're probably going to drop them in the next 3 months by another 0.25% because it's not doing too bad in the US. So we've got a potential shoot in either direction on the US coming next week. So just be aware today, if you see some, big ADRs for any reason, it's probably just unwinding positions. It may not happen, but it's not the sort of thing necessarily you want to try and mean revert. So we'll see what happens. But there's not a lot of movement so far today. The only extension we've got is the euro pound. That's extended beyond ADR because, actually, it's just literally tapped into ADR. And you're about to get a reversal on it. I'll be getting next short on there. In fact, I'm just going to hit the short button now. If this meme reverts, I'm not going to get a new position on, so I'm just going to get that one on. So that's your only extension. Obviously, this is the pound interest rate, retail sales drop, which has obviously caused a negative move on that. That is bad news. So there is a possibility that will continue. So obviously I just need to scale into it basically. So that is an ADR reversal opportunity, but it is a breakout of the range. That's actually only a breakout yesterday's high, to be honest. So yeah. But yeah, so there's an opportunity for shorts there. So that's the news today. I'll just shut that down. There's no other news overnight that was of any interest. Boost Bank of England bets after UK data. So they just see three cuts this year. So that was all the news we've had overnight. Nothing more from the Bank of Japan about FX movement, which is good. So it means that the moves that we're seeing on the yen at the minute, which was a little bit of strength coming through, is pleasing. So as you can see, the yen's dropped, or rather popped. So everything's dropped against the yen, which is good because this is what the Japanese want. They do not want to get back up into that intervention level, and it doesn't look like the market does either. So it looks like the market is anticipating what I'm anticipating, which is if you get there, they're going to hit the button again. They don't want that to happen. The last thing you want is unexpected volatility coming in when you've got long carry positions on yen trades. So the market seems to be buying into the yen interest rate increase next week. So there's a good chance that this will continue to strengthen into next week, Whether or not the market is going to put a new higher low in, we'll have to wait and see. So even though they're increasing the interest rates are still way lower than everybody else's, making this a carry trade because the swaps are brilliant. You buy this, and regardless of what happens, you make money. So, well, not so much regardless, but obviously you make money just for holding the trade. So it is a carry trade, and this is why the market longs it all the time, why it trends. So we got CAD yen has also hit its weekly range. It is the end of the week. It's Friday, so there's a good possibility of a potential reversal on this. So that is your 100% of weekly range. It is a propulsion gap fill and a 3-bar reversal on the 4-hour time frame. So doesn't get much better than that. Confluence, price action, long. So good looking long opportunity, but obviously bear in mind there's a lot of strength in the yen at the moment. So, but for a pullback before continuation, high, low, lower high, looks like a good long, but you're against the short-term weekly trend. The other one we got extended is the New Zealand dollar yen as well. So that is also extended. We're down at the lows, lovely level. We're range bound. Yeah, ranges. You buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But markets has just put in a lower high at double top. We're now at double bottom. So if it's going to remain like this in uncertainty until Friday next week, which is somewhere over here, there's a good chance it will pull back. So there is a long opportunity there if you want to take that as well. Those are your ADRs and AWRs, RSI extensions, CAD yen, New Zealand yen. Same stuff. Yeah. So same stuff's moving. So potential push back up into there. Morning, Virginia. So those are your RSIs and ADRs. This week has been pretty sideways. So if we look at the hourly and go back to Monday. It's Monday, isn't it? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. You can see that we haven't really done an awful lot on most things this week. So we're down ever so slightly, not an awful lot of movement. The Aussie pairs have had a better week this week than previous. Obviously, it's been dropping pretty bad, the Aussie. So starting the recovery, reversal alert's just gone in on the hourly after the news from Friday. So market structure looking like it wants to shift to the upside, which is good. Aussie Swiss sideways. New Zealand sideways. Yeah, so a lot of sideways price action still. We have made slight gains, but really nothing really to write home about this week. It's just been quiet like last week was. Market's not going to want to do a lot until next week because there's too much uncertainty. If these trade deals go through on Monday that he's expecting, all hell's going to break loose because the economics are going to change for every country. Your economic outlook is based on import, export, and profitability. Yeah, if all of a sudden it costs you 5% more to export all your goods, there goes 5% of your profitability. Your GDP is going to drop. So it's going to be big movements on currencies in the next couple of weeks. So understandably, the markets are, let's hang around and wait until Trump is on board. Morning, George from Ohio. Good morning. Or good evening for you. Night, you should be asleep. Yeah, up on the euro pound. So if you look at all the euro pairs, they're all pretty sideways. Euro pound is up because obviously the pound has collapsed. So the biggest mover of the week has been the pound. A lot of negative movement on that pound. Nothing but doom and gloom coming out of the pound at the minute, news-wise. And obviously retail sales today have not helped. So US and CAD weakness as well, but not quite so much. So as you can see, like pound Swiss here, we've got this low, this monthly low holding very, very nicely at the moment. The buyers continuously buying this level up. We're down here again, but it is a wedge contraction, which tends to be a bearish break signal. However, you've got these huge propulsion moves up here. And as we know, the market does not like leaving propulsion gaps in play. It's unfinished business. It needs to get back to them to finish off the business there for the unsettled buyers and sellers. So there's a high probability of a pullback up into there as well. So we just need a bit of positive news out of the pound. Not quite sure at the moment where we're going to get it from, but as you can see, market selling hard at the moment on the pound. So I've got quite a few pound positions on. I've got three positions on the pound. Looking for some mean reversion on it at some point. New Zealand CAD sideways, New Zealand Swiss sideways, New Zealand US sideways. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of movement until Trump's in. So a lot of intraday opportunities, but not really directional. 3 a.m. there, is it? Blimey. I watch all your live streams usually after the fact. I trade your position trading strategy. Good. I changed your trading. That's what we want to hear. 2 years ago. Blimey. Good. That's what we're here for. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Not literally, because I don't eat frogs. Granola. Right. Breaks this morning. DAX is a clean break. FTSE's a hedge. So obviously we got a gap up on the FTSE. Well, not obviously, but we got a gap up on the FTSE news. So the obviously with a weak pound, you get a strong FTSE. So if this undoes, I would expect the pound to undo the move this morning. Not really sure it should do because it is very, very weak numbers, but we'll see. Like I said, the market's not really wanting to drive in a direction at the minute, so it may be that news spike just gets undone. But clean break on the DAX this morning. Looking for this propulsion gap to hold, which is the pre-market move. So hopefully that one can break out of yesterday's high. We are rejecting yesterday's high at the moment, so that is yesterday's high. It's not rejecting, it's trying to break out, so it will reject obviously if it pushes back down again. But if you look at the DAX this morning, we're out to all-time highs now, so there is nowhere to go but up. So there's nothing you can look to the left on the DAX at the moment to pick a level of resistance. So either this breakout is going to work and we're going to put in new highs again today, or we're not. Yeah. Now, bear in mind, going back to the beginning of the week, we started the week on a hammer. Then we put in a bull candle, followed by a bull candle, followed by a very small bull candle, which is kind of more of a doji or spinning top. So we're 4 days pretty much bullish. So there is a chance that we might start a pullback today. So if this hedges today, I'll be looking for a pullback into propulsion as the exit, which will be ADR. There's ADR there. If it breaks out, obviously, fine, we just clean break, and obviously we'll see how far we go. So we're either going to make new highs today or not. FTSE is hedged already, so gap fill, tricky one today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the aggressive exit to the gap fill. And I'm going to assume if we are going to do the gap fill, we're going to find buyers here. Yeah. To replace what we've lost. We've got 2 big propulsion gaps to the downside, and it's a very similar story on the FTSE this week to the DAX. Although if you look at the higher time frame, what we're actually doing is we are tapping straight into all-time highs. So it makes sense to pull out of those highs. Obviously, as you can see, this is a range break attempt, and most breakouts tend to fail. So higher the day, higher the year basically is now double topping. So I'm going to just look for a quick pullback and try and exit this. If it breaks to the upside, I'm just going to stick with 5R today because there is nothing upside to look at. So 125 ADR to the upside will basically be me done. So this week, if you've been following the Discord channel, I've been posting all the results of the SIH this month so far. We've had 1 losing day this month so far. It's just we've had just phenomenal price action on the indices to the start of the month. So very little rotation at the open. And if we are, it's only single indexes which are rotating. And if they are rotating pretty much to ADR and staying like that. So all the aggressive exits have worked. So there's just been absolutely beautiful this week. So I'm up just under 4K on this account. We're only on the 17th of the month. So hopefully we get 1 clean break So all you need for this strategy to work, you need one clean break and one hedge, and you're guaranteed to make money. If you get two hedges and you get one hedge recovery, you're guaranteed to make money. The only way you lose with the SIH strategy is if you get two hedges and neither of the hedges get to loss recovery stage, which hasn't happened. So we've had multiple days where we've had 4 clean breaks. We've had the DAX, the FTSE, the NASDAQ, and the Dow all clean break on the same day and just bank cash. So phenomenal this month so far. Hopefully it continues, but this is the market. The market will at some point go, yeah, don't fancy doing that anymore. And this is why, you know, strategies are long term. It's working because we're getting momentum breakouts. When we don't get momentum breakouts, the strategy is going to basically stagnate, which is absolutely normal. But this month, we're not stagnating. So we'll come back to that and see how that goes in a minute. My position's on at the moment. Didn't manage to bank anything yesterday. Up 7.6 on the month. I have Aussie New Zealand shorts. So average on that is around about 125 ADR. It's just a choppy mess at the minute, this one. So you can't do anything with it. It's in a beautiful spot now. Up at this high. So this is today, it looks like the triple top rejection. So I'm hoping that we're just going to break that low, probably not today, but into next week, and then come down and retest the previous low, basically just hold the range. But the range is ever so slightly bullish, as you can see, but rollovers look like that. So this would be the lower high on the new leg down, but we'll have to just wait and see. I need New Zealand dollar strength on that one, really. Aussie US, I should have got out of this on I had 2 exits on this. I had an exit on Wednesday, I had an exit yesterday. I'm still confident at the moment that we're going to hold that low, which is the previous high here. So this is a previous point of interest. Yeah. So we've been around here multiple times and we're still breaking and holding. So this is the 4th hold at this level. We haven't got enough news this afternoon to help me, unfortunately. The only news we've got is building permits, which don't tend to move the market. So I'm just hoping we get some US movement today. But my thoughts today are rotation, because, you know, no one's going to want to go, hey, let's buy a load or sell a load of US dollar 24 hours before someone comes in and completely changes the economics of the US. So I suspect I'll still be in this. I don't want to take a break even on it either, because I think there's some volatility coming. And whether or not the volatility goes like that, I don't care. If volatility does that and it goes absolutely nowhere, that's all we need, because we just need an exit. It can come straight down after my exit. Yeah, look at this here. This is exactly the type of thing I'm talking about. Yeah. Big volatility, exited a load of positions, made a load of money, came back down. Don't care, because I've already done it. Yeah, we just need that volatility to come in so I can get the exit, and then it can do what the hell it likes after that. Doesn't matter, does it? Euro pound, as we know, that's still pushing today because of the weak pound news that we've had. Only a couple of positions into it. It's within ADR, so that's all fine. Pound odd. So pound odd again dropping today. We are coming down to test yesterday's low. Next entry is going in today on that one. I will wait for some price action on that. So yeah, pound odd, obviously another entry long on it. We're just stuck with this pound grinding away, but propulsion targets galore to the upside. So I'm looking on these pounds at where is the last propulsion move that we're going to retest, and I think we're at it. So this accumulation break here is obviously that propulsion move, which is what we're holding the top of at the moment. So it's a big propulsion gap, that one. You can see this one is filled and that is the lower one. So the entire move here is one big propulsion gap. So this is where the buyers are. We know that. So low, high, higher low, higher high. This is your higher low area where the propulsion move started to drive the higher high. So that is where I would be expecting, if the fundamentals allow, and obviously we can look for some weak Aussie dollar news as well to help us along the way, but some kind of positive news out of the pound, potentially Trump next week going, we're going to change all the tariffs. Guess what, UK? You're only getting 2.5%. Everyone else is getting 5%. That's going to help the pound. Yeah, stuff like that. Anything like that was going to help. Obviously, he can do the opposite. But that's where I'm looking. And we are holding at the moment. We have had a reversal alert, which is holding. So there is your market structure break. We just about put a new high in today. But to me, that is more of a rejection of yesterday's high than a break. And obviously the news has been negative. If that news was positive, we'd be sitting here. We're not. So looking for yesterday's low to hold today. This is a key level. This needs to hold, which is basically looking like we are starting to roll over to the upside. So that's not too bad, but not in a great position at the minute. It's only 1.7 in drawdown, so not the end of the world. Sorry, 2% in drawdown. Pound CAD is the other one. Very, very similar. That one's making new higher lows. We got a reversal alert, but potentially this is looking like a flag break. It could well just be a flag break, but propulsion gaps to the upside galore. Again, some kind of weakness on that. We've just had the war in Gaza starting to de-escalate, which would be bad for oil prices. Canada is a big oil exporter, so hopefully that might help the CAD weaken a little bit, which is going to help this one. We'll wait and see. The CAD will move with the US dollar, so it depends what Trump does with the US next week. Pound Swiss, got 3 positions on that one. Averages at ADR. We haven't gone anywhere all week, so there's nothing to do with that. I can't do anything with it. We're holding the lows again, so hoping today's price action holds the 2-day low, and then looking to come back up into propulsion. We've obviously got the news up there as well. And then finally, New Zealand dollar Swiss, which is a new position taken yesterday, which is an ADR reversal. So just new position on, not gone anywhere yet, so wait and see. There we go. And your similarities to my favourite person, Ricky Gervais, are uncanny. I don't look anything like Ricky Gervais. I hope I don't. Morning, JC. Morning, OA. Can you explain why the UK 100 is strong because of the weak pound? I'm still trying to learn the fundamental. So basically, stock indices are inverse to currencies. So each index has a currency. Obviously, this is the pound, this is the euro, and these two are the US dollar. So basically, when you get a strong move in a currency to the downside, stock tends to get bought, basically. So as a stock trader, what you want to do is, when the currency is weakening, that makes the stock price better. So you buy the lows, yeah? Which means that when a currency is devaluing or getting weaker, stocks are becoming more attractive. Therefore, more stocks get purchased, which makes the index that tracks the stock rise because there's more stock purchasing. Yeah. So, and you tend to get indices moving in sync with each other at those times as well, because indexes are contain multiple sectors. And if there is a sector purchase going on, all the indices will have movement at the same time. So that's just basically the rule of thumb. So at the moment, we've got a fairly strong move on the DAX. If you go and look at the euro US dollar, which is the inverse to actually, that's probably not going to work that way, is it? Because we've got different movement on the US today. But yeah, basically, if you look at what's happening within a currency, you tend to find the stock market goes the other way. It doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form, though. Yeah, it's because if you see a currency coming down, you see a stock go up. That doesn't help you because it's happened. Yeah. What could happen next is that currency goes up and that stock goes down. So you don't buy the stock market just because the currency is going down, because you don't know what the currency is going to do next. Look at it like an indicator. This is a leading indicator. The pound comes down, the FTSE normally goes up. So at the moment, what's happening? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, FTSE's not moving. If you look at the pound, it's not really doing a lot, but it's starting to recover. So that FTSE will start to go down as the pound comes back up to here. So today, what I would expect to see is if that gap is filled there, that gap will get filled there, which is why I'm looking for that, because that would be the play. That's all it is. And it doesn't always work either. Sometimes you will see the price of a currency come down and the stock market will also drop. That tends to be really bad news overall for the country, meaning that people start selling UK stocks and they start selling their pound holdings as well, because they put them into something else. So in that case, if both of them are coming down at the same time, you'll find other stock markets and currencies will be rising at the same time. Everything in trading is interlinked. Think of it like your own personal finances. Most people have got a mortgage. Most people have got a savings account. And most people have got a current account. Yeah. And then they have cash holding money, printed money. Yeah. So if you think of a stock level on all four of those things, if you have 10,000 in cash and you put the 10,000 in cash in your current account goes up and your cash supply goes down. Your savings and your mortgage don't move. If you transfer the money from your current account into your savings account goes up and that one goes down. So for every inverse action, there is a positive action. Every negative action has a positive action. So same with currency pairs. If the pound drops and the CAD drops at the same time, they do nothing. If the pound pops and the CAD pops at the same time, they do nothing. If the pound pops and the CAD is not moving, the pound CAD will move up slightly. If the pound drops and the CAD pops, it will move up very fast. And this is why we monitor ADR. ADR reversals tend to happen when you have bad news on one, good news on the other. At the same time, you get twice as much market movement. That needs to be undone. And it usually is, which is why your ADR reversals work. Yeah. So there's always, so if, for example, look at the yen, right? This is the easiest way probably to explain it. The yen had a massive positive reaction when they intervened. So basically what happened was, at that point in time, back on the 8th of July, the Japanese liquidated all of their US bond holdings and turned them into yen. So what happened at that point was, not only did the yen massively increase in value because they sold all of their US dollars, converted it into yen and moved the yen up, but also by selling all of those bonds, they affected the US dollar. So the move was twice as fast on the US dollar yen than it was on things like, the pound yen was very similar actually, things like the Swiss yen. Actually, it's the same on all of them. That's not a good example, is it? We'll look at what happened with the US. Yeah. So the US moved up when the US dollar yen went down, because obviously they liquidated all their US bonds, which sold back into the US. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to explain. This is not a good example, actually, the US dollar yen, because there's a lot more things at play on that one. But all you need to know is when one thing moves up, the other thing moves down. Yeah. So this and this are interlinked. Both of these are affected by oil, for example. Yeah. Both large oil exporters. So if the price of oil goes up, they both go up at the same time. Yeah. And if things go up at the same time, they move sideways, because a positive and a positive doesn't make a double positive, does it? It makes nothing, basically. A positive and a negative makes a big, strong move. Probably didn't explain any of that properly, but you get the point. But it doesn't help you. It's not going to help you in any way, shape or form knowing that, because, for example, with the pound today, you've seen this obviously big move on the pound that has started. But what's going to happen next? Yeah. So if this is going to do that, you want to buy the FTSE today. If this is going to do that, you want to sell the FTSE today. So the decision you have is, I've seen a massive move, but I've still got a 50-50 chance of it going up or down from here. So it doesn't help you, does it? Because at this point, you had a 50-50 choice to make, didn't you? Is news going to be positive or negative? If you think it's positive, you buy it. If you think it's negative, you sell it. Right now, if you think this is a proper news event, you sell it. If you think it's a negative, not a proper news event, and it's not strong enough to move the currency, you buy it. It doesn't help you. There's no indicator or no previous price action that can really help you in any way, shape, or form predict future movement, which is why we position trade, because we don't need to predict future movement. We need to get into the market and wait for the market to move. Yeah. If you try and pick an entry point using an order that makes you a loss in the market, you will make a loss in the market. If you buy it here and place a stop loss below that low and the market does that, you will lose money. You can be 100% right, but you will lose money. If you place an order to go long here and you do not place a stop loss in the market and it does that, you will make money. The only reason traders lose money is because they place stop losses in the market, which makes them losses. That's literally it. You should call it a stop profit, because what it does is it stops you profiting. It creates loss. It should be a loss creator. It's basically what it is, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, I've been through that many times before. Your jokes, I mean, how to respond to people. Oh, right, yes. Then that, in that case, George, I agree with you. I am very Ricky Gervais. Basically, tell it like it is. Very good first week using it. Cool. Barrier Man, you're on SIH. Okay, brilliant. Morning, Mark. When trading the SIH, do you look into candlestick price action on M5? Yep. I only look at M5, SIH. Well, no, that's not true. So I look at M5, obviously, for price action, but I'm looking for where price... The most important thing with everything in trading is where price action is happening. That's a really bad example because we're at all-time highs. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Yep, so the NASDAQ, let's say, for example, the NAS does this today. Yeah, and that's the open. When the NAS breaks up today or down today, I'll be watching the pre-market low and yesterday's high. Price action on the way to there or there doesn't bother me, because it's going to do that or that with 100% certainty. So yes, I watch price action, but I'm watching price action only to see reactions at levels. If price action does that now, it doesn't mean it's going to drop. I have no idea what it's going to do. But if I saw that candlestick pattern here, that to me is sellers stepping in at the highs. So that is where I will action an order. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. Look at yesterday on the FTSE. I got out here yesterday at 2R. The reason I took 2R and not 3R or 5R, which there's the targets, 3R and 5R from yesterday's break. The reason I took the 2R was because it took just about 2 hours to get to 2R. We often hit 3R within 30 minutes. Yeah, so the market was very slow. We had a period of half an hour sat around, 25 minutes sat around. We had a little bit of a rally, which then started, but this didn't start until an hour and a half into the market open. So I decided to get out at 2R there. That was it. That was my choice. But I could have got the 3R target, and if I'd have been patient, I'd have got my 5R target. But the reason, and there's millions of reasons why you get out. The reason I got out there was because, combined with the DAX yesterday, which was a break short, and you can see why I got out the DAX, very obvious. Very obvious. Yeah. The reason I got out of the DAX was because I saw the DAX pop into that pre-market low, reject it, hit it again, and I thought, if that bounces, we're off. And it bounced and it went. So I thought, there's 200 odd to get there. There's 200 odd to get on the FTSE. I'll take 400 and be done with it. Exactly the right choice to make on the DAX, because we bounced and we never came back. And it would have not hedged, but I would have got out the day with virtually no profit. On the FTSE, however, I should have let it run. But this is where discretion comes into your trading. This is something that there is no rule for. Discretion is discretion. You cannot teach somebody discretion. That's up to you. You will either be right or wrong. It's binary. I'm letting this run because it's broken out into all-time highs, but there's nothing I can do with it, can I? I'm just waiting to see if it either does that or it does that. If it does that, I'll deal with it. If it doesn't, I'll take the money. Which is why I love this strategy, because it's binary. It takes one trade a day. It either works or it doesn't. If it does work, you make a load of money. If it doesn't work, you have an opportunity to make a load of money, because you just wait for the undoing of the move. So if this hedges, it's going to go down. Where's it going down to? The propulsion area they bought from was there. So I will try and get in on the reversal there. Yeah. So even the ones that don't work a lot of the time. But there is, most of what I post in Discord is just letting the EA do its thing. But I always say in Discord, if I've made a decision, this is why I've made the decision, which I did yesterday. So, but levels is key. Absolutely key, because that's what price does. It searches for levels, and when it gets to those levels, it either finds the same result as it got before, or it doesn't. That's it. You have a binary decision to make. But we know support and resistance works. DAX yesterday being a prime example. Right. So let's look at the zones. Just want to see how this is getting on. Up 500. The moment. Had a down day yesterday on trend pullback strategy. Looking for more strength in the yen today. That's locked in. It's good. All right, I'll come back to that. That's something we're doing in the members streams. Right. So zones. So again, I'm just going to go through the zone trader EA levels that I'm trading at the moment. If nothing's changed, I'm going to whiz past it. I'm not going to explain every chart because it takes ages going through all 28 pairs. But obviously with the zone trader EA, all we're doing is we're looking for support resistance levels and areas for price to react at. So currently I'm long on this one. There's my average price. I'm looking for it to come up into that previous support resistance and bounce out of there. And that's where I'll take the profit and flip short if the swaps allow. If price pushes down, I'll need a new entry, which will be down there, which is basically an old 4-hour low. Yeah, so, and we're just looking for where price is going and where it's going to go to when it pulls back. So if we continue going down, at some point we will stop going down and come back up again. So I'm looking to find areas where the buyers are going to help us with that situation. So I'm not going to go through every one, as I say, because there's no point in doing the analysis on every pair. You can see where I'm looking at because there's the red block. I think that's where we're going to sell it from. If there's a green block, that's where we're going to buy it from. So would you say the UK is in recession? No. We escaped it yesterday. So the official definition of a recession is 3 months in a row with negative GDP growth. Yeah. So if you look at yesterday's figure on GDP, it was 0.1, which it's in red because it's lower than forecast, but it's positive. You look at the previous two, we had a negative 0.1 and negative 0.1. If that had come out as a negative 0.1 or lower, that would be official declaration of recession. Yeah. So we're not doing well, but we're not in recession. Just scraped it at the end of the day. So yeah, but it's not good. They were forecasting recessionary figures. They were forecasting a nice pop, but we didn't quite get the pop. So not there yet. But this is what tends to send the market into more of a free fall. When you do get a recessionary label slapped on you, there's small people There's very few people out there that will want to invest in the UK, in businesses within the UK, if the UK is in recession. Because if the UK is in recession, it means that people aren't buying stuff. If people aren't buying stuff, businesses aren't going to be able to sell stuff. If businesses don't sell stuff, their profits are down. Their shareholder profits are down. Therefore, shareholders do not want to invest. That creates a spiral, which is why GDP is incredibly important. And it's one of the leading indicators, because you are constantly watching interest rates, inflation, GDP, and unemployment, because those four things factor into the economic growth of a country, which basically makes currencies go up and down. So, but we're not there. Just one far off though. Right, Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss. You can see the levels. We're stuck in a range. Looking to buy, looking to sell. Currently short, so just hoping we get a drop. Aussie dollar yen. I'm not trading any yen. I am trading 2 yens, but I'm not getting into new positions on the yen at the moment until I know what the US is doing next week. The intervention level we've got on the US dollar yen, which is that big blue line where we collapsed. That is what I'm waiting to see if we test. Until then, until Trump comes out with his sort of plans, if you like, for moving forward, we don't know if the US is going to rally or drop. If the US rallies, there's a chance of a yen intervention. So, and I only want to be long. I can only long the yen from a swap perspective, because any swing trade or long-term hold has to be long. Otherwise, you just pay too much in the swaps and you can't hold it because it makes too much loss in swap fees. So I'm only looking for long opportunities, but I'm not going to long it until I know what the US dollar is doing. So I've got out of all of my yen but 2, and I'm not trading any new yens. Will yesterday's figure be subject to revision? No, they're factual figures, GDP. So it is a measurement of the GDP. That is it. Aussie New Zealand have one short on at the moment. It's not going anywhere. Very tricky to find a high on this, so I've chosen that kind of accumulation. We had a new spike there, but that was the accumulation before the drop. That's too close, which is basically, this is what we're reacting at the moment, this area here. Hence looking for it to come back down into the lows. In fact, I'm just going to move that up a little bit. This week we've got a new low of the week gone in, so I'm just going to target that low of the week as potential new range low for an exit. So there's that one. Aussie US, again, there's not a lot to talk about on these because it's such a sideways week. Everything that I put in place earlier in the week is still there. So go Aussie US. CAD Swiss on its way. So I'm short on this, 4 shorts on. I'm targeting this area here. Yeah, so that's a previous accumulation break. We came in, we retested to an old propulsion move that's been retested. We broke that, retested it. So that to me seems to be the obvious spot to the downside to buy from. We have also got this level as well. So there's a couple of areas where potentially we could get a bounce. So it's a tricky one when you've got lots of price action, which is choppy to decide where to get out. But that's what I'm targeting. I will evaluate it if today we get a massive strength move on the Swiss franc, and that is possible because if you're going to remove money from the US dollar because you're uncertain about the US, you're going to put it in a safe haven. It's either going into the yen or the Swissy, isn't it? So the Swiss or the yen are potentially going to power up today based on if there is reduction from the US dollar, but we'll wait and see. I don't know how scared the market is of next week. We'll find out today. So, yeah, so looking for a push back down into there. We won't get there today. That would have to be a 150 ADR move or something. ADR's 416. That's 490. So it is possible. CAD yen not in at the moment. Swiss yen same. Euro odd. Looking for an entry short on this. Haven't managed to get one. We've put in a lower high, and I was looking for a pullback push up into there. We didn't get it. So I'll adjust this level next week if it goes somewhere, but that's the likelihood movement today. Euro CAD, first short taken yesterday, so I need new sell. So there's your support resistance. Multiple tests. That's my second short. That's too close. There is an opportunity to get in, depending if you're trading supply and demand or support and resistance. If you're trading supply and demand, you're going to be probably looking to get in somewhere around there, maybe. Tricky level. That I might pull that down a little bit just to encompass both. So somewhere up there is I'm looking for a second short target. If we're going to put a lower low in this current market structure, we're going to break that level. If we're going to range, we're going to bounce at that level. Either way, if we break it or bounce at it, that's where I want to exit. Euro Swiss sideways, obvious highs. Just want it to come down, go up or come down, one or the other. Okay, so shorts. Now I've got 5 shorts on Euro Pound. Target is in the same place. I can't pick another entry out of this because this high here is where we've reacted already this week. If that doesn't hold and we don't put a lower high in here and start to retrace, that is the accumulation that I am looking to target to the downside just to get out. Really, it's not going to be a big profit. It's going to be a very small profit, but it's an exit without a loss, which is the whole goal of position trading. Euro yen not moving, not trading rather. Euro New Zealand sideways, 3 positions on. It's just not going anywhere. Can't do anything with it. Very obvious highs. Lows are a little bit more tricky because this is a really clean market structure move. So there's a lot of areas to the downside that this could look to target as support resistance. So I've just picked that one because it's in profit. But, you know, I don't really have to worry about it because the thing's not moving. So wait and see what happens. Euro US, same. We just aren't, just not moving basically. So nothing to do. Yeah, it's just not moving. Can't do anything with it if it don't go anywhere. Pound odd. Next buy is going in if the pound continues to drop today. So if we hold the low of the week, which at the moment it looks like we are finding buyers there, we're looking to push up. So retracement on that leg. This area here is the obvious support resistance. To the upside, this accumulation to the downside will be the next trade, which will bring the average down, which will give me an exit here. But we'll wait and see what happens. Nothing happening at the minute. Pound CAD, we bought the lows, which is good. I'm long on this with 3 positions. Average is here. Exit at the moment. I'm watching this area, accumulation here. So I'm just watching this area basically, which is what we broke through parabolic with a news event, and then we pushed back, retested and dropped from. So I'm looking for another retest of that level for sellers to come back into the market. Depending on how you look at it, it's either a 50% retracement on the full leg or it's a 71.9 retracement on that. Pound Swiss, again, same thing with the pound. We are holding the lows at the moment. Swiss franc is rallying at the minute. Pound Swiss is coming down against the Swiss. So the Swiss is rallying. The yen will also be rallying, I suspect. Let's quickly look, see what the yen's doing as well. No, this is just the Swiss. So they're buying the Swiss at the minute. So move going in on the Swiss franc. Safe haven run potentially. It's no news. So yeah, just a little bit of money going into the Swissy. This is what I was thinking might happen today. We'll see if it continues, but Swiss franc is where you put your money if you want to put it somewhere safe. It's like putting it in a savings account. Yeah, the Swiss interest rates are always very low. It's an incredibly stable, incredibly wealthy economy. So if you want to put your money somewhere safe, you know it's not going to get affected. They're not in NATO. They don't get involved in conflict. That's where you put it, Swiss franc. That's why it's called a safe haven. So when you're worried about anything, you move your money out of the stock market, you move your money out of other currency, you put it in the Swiss for safekeeping until you're happy to put it somewhere else that's going to make you more capital. So move going on there. So the next break of this low, if it happens, is this low here. So that is where the next entry will go in, and then we'll look for a pullback on that leg. But at the moment, I'm just looking for the range to hold. So that's where I'm exiting. at some point. Pound yen. So this is the long that I have got on, which I don't really want to be in. Obviously looking for the lows, and then I'm looking to get out in a loss. So what I want with this is just an exit. I just want to be out of it. So if we can get back up to there and I can close it there, it's going to be an ever such a slight loss, but I've made money on the swaps. So it'll just turn into a break-even trade. But I'm just trying to get out before Friday next week when the interest rates are announced for the Japanese yen. So that's what is going to move the yen next week. The forecast is they're going to increase the rates. I really wish they'd get rid of this little umlaut, not umlaut, it's a lower than sign before the thing. Yeah, so I'll just do it for you. Oh my God. Yeah, we don't want that anymore, Forex Factory, if you're watching. I'm doing it for you now. I'm just showing you how easy it is to code that out. It's gone. Get rid of it. They're not negative interest rates now. They're going in 0.25% like the rest of the world. Adjust your figures. But anyway, that comes out next week. Sorry, OCD in me coming out. Why do you need the little negative sign? You don't. So that's what I'm looking for on that one. Pound New Zealand, not trading. Swaps are too high. Pound US dollar, longs on at the moment. I've got too much exposure on the pound at the minute, but anyway, nothing I can do about that. We haven't gone anywhere this week. Therefore, that low is what I'm looking to target to the downside for the next position. And then my average will come down and it will allow me to get an exit in propulsion. So at the minute I'm targeting that propulsion gap to the upside. This is one big propulsion move here, which basically was the break of that low, and then we retested and dropped. So we know that the sellers overpowered the buyers at that level. So this is where the sellers currently reside, somewhere in that area. So that's my average. So what I'm looking for is one more position. I'd love this to come down, get me another position on, bring the average down, and then I can move this down basically onto propulsion and just get the exit. But waiting for something to happen. Sideways, nothing going on. Again, just one out of this one. I've got 5 positions on New Zealand dollar CAD. Can't really get anywhere because it's not doing anything. New Zealand dollar Swiss. First long on this week. Since then, we've just literally flip-flopped around for 2 days, looking for a retest of those highs or those lows. Failing that, we've got lovely stepping market structure support on the way down. So next entry, that's probably too close. Another one there, another one there. So we just scale into the move down, wait for the pullback leg. Or it's just going to hold this low. We're going to put in a higher low. But the way the Swiss is going today, I'll probably get another entry on that, but we'll see if it continues. New Zealand dollar yen, I'm not trading out of that, all the profit taken. New Zealand dollar US dollar sideways. Next entry long is going to be somewhere down below my previous because it's low. We're at pretty much all-time lows on that. Well, not all-time lows, but long-term lows. Exit on that, I'm looking for a break even. I've got 6 positions on. Just one out in the propulsion gap, basically. So looking for a break-even exit on that one. US dollar CAD, nothing to do. Literally haven't been able to do anything with this for best part of 4 weeks. So we had a propulsion move, and all we've done is we've accumulated inside the propulsion move. I've got shorts on. If we break those lows, I will get out. If we don't, I will get in again. But this is US dollar CAD, and as I said, when you get strength in the US, you get strength in the CAD. When you get weakness in the US, you get weakness in the CAD. All we've had is nothing but strength and weakness, so all we've had is nothing but nothing, because these two guys move together. Therefore, when they both get positive news together, they don't move. Both get negative news together, they don't move. Waiting for one of them to have positive news and the other to have negative news at the same time to get something started. That's what we need. But at the moment, they're just in sync, so can't do anything with it. US dollar Swiss, not really doing an awful lot. I have a sell on. I'm looking to exit the sell, 6 positions. So this is going to be just a break-even exit. And this is the beauty of position trading. Got in, got it wrong. Got in, got it wrong. Got in, got it wrong. Got it wrong 6 times, and I can still get out with not losing a penny. That's what it's all about, making money. And making money is basically not losing money. So Missed the exit on this one yesterday, US dollar yen. So very, very close, excuse me, to exit on this yesterday. I'm really hoping we just get one more day of strength coming on this yen. That's all I want, one more day. So break yesterday's low, which looks like we rejected, unfortunately, this morning. It's this little tiny accumulation here holding. But that's the accumulation I'm looking to exit at to the downside, and then I'm done. So I might monitor this today. It's such a tiny, because I'm short on it, it's costing a fortune in swaps. So even getting below break even, so this is my average sell price here. And as you can see, it's still 0.73 in drawdown, because the amount of money I've paid in swaps means that, yes, this might be my average price, but I've got a load of debt in swaps. So that is really a break even exit for me. So I'm going to monitor this today and make a decision on it next early next week, because Monday that is either going to do that or that, I think, or not. If not Monday, it will be Tuesday when he signs the first piece of paper. So there we go. So there's your zones. Not a lot happening. I've been sitting basically in the same stuff, as you can see, because it's just not going anywhere. Long-term swing trading, the job is to sit and wait. You sit and waiting for the market, and if the market doesn't do anything, you sit and wait with the market, which is why it's important to trade in line with positive swaps or small negative swaps, because if you're going to hold it for 3 weeks and it costs you $30 to hold the swap, it's going to cost you a lot of money to sit. If they're paying you to sit, you're going to make a lot of money sitting. So there we go. So that's the zone trader stuff done. DAX is approaching 3R, so we've got one clean break. So profit day minus 230 on the hedge, 400 on the break. This, whoever it was that asked about, do I look at price action? This is where I'm looking at price action. Yeah, when you're so close to target and you're seeing a wick appear after a massive bull run, there is a high probability, obviously, of some kind of pullback. So this is where I'm watching closely, because I don't want to let that slip away, because today I need it to pay for this. If this was a clean break as well today, I wouldn't be watching it as closely, because I've got double the amount of profit to play with. But right now, my focus is making sure I do not lose money today. And to do that, I need this to stay above £233. Yeah. So watching this now, going, okay, I can bank 150 right now. But if it does hit the 3R target, that will pretty much lock in the hedge, guaranteed break even day. And then if I do get the runner to 5R, we've got a nice big profit on our hands. And if this does do the gap fill bounce today, we've got potential of making another 200 to 300 as well. So that's the decision making process, and it is starting to pull back a little. So I'm just going to take that one off, stick it in the bank. So second order will be protected with break even stop. I've got 188 locked in. So worst case scenario today is going to be somewhere in the region of a £70 loss. If this does that, it's not, is it? So I could close it all out now, but I'm just being a little bit cautious. So if this pushes up further and then pulls back and reverses, obviously my trailer will come up. The trailer will lock in enough to cover the hedge today, because I only need this trailer to make 70, and we're at a break-even scenario. How did the SAH perform last year? Okay, yeah, good. But it depends how you're using it, doesn't it? I don't publish any figures because of that. Yeah. If you set it onto full auto, you can tell yourself how it performed. If you have a setting that you want it to trade for you every single day, and use it on 100% full auto mode, set it up, stick it in the back tester, and it will tell you how it performed last year. If you're like me and believe that There isn't a person on the planet that makes all their living from full automated trading, and you need to have discretion and intervene with everything you do in trading because it's your job. Otherwise, it's not a job, is it? It's AI. Then you're going to have a different result to me. No one's going to get the same results as me. If I give you a signal service, you still won't get the same results as me because of deviation in execution, spread, your computer not taking the order because it had a funny 5 minutes with the internet. There's a million reasons why you won't get the same results. Everyone else that hasn't done what I've done right now is making more money than me because that's another bull candle going in. Look, and there's the target. It's just about to hit. I can't tell you what it did last year because I'm not you. You are you. I am me. But it's profitable. That's all I can say. But back test it yourself. You know, prove to yourself it's profitable. You're going to find days with the strategy. There are days where you get parabolic moves at 200 ADR. They're very rare. We had one this week. Here. Yeah. So that move on Wednesday, which was on the CPI number, was 536. So that's 150 ADR. Yeah, and it didn't pull back. I got out before the news. Yeah, if you didn't, that day for you was a big loss. But this is why you can't run everything on full auto because, and it's only a big loss if you used an aggressive exit. Yeah, and again, this is the thing. I make all my products incredibly configurable, so that you can decide what you think is the best thing to do. So if you do not use hedge recovery and turn both of those to false, you will lock in that. And you will never, if you get a hedge, it's a guaranteed loss. If you don't get a hedge, it's a guaranteed win. Yeah, that's it. It's 50-50, isn't it? It either does or it doesn't. It moves up, it moves down. Market is binary. That's all it does. It moves up, moves down. It either hedges or it doesn't. So if you don't use a hedge recovery system, that is the guaranteed loss on every hedge. If you use the loss recovery system and it attempts a recovery, which is successful, you will make a lot more money and the P&L in the backtest will go higher. If you use a hedge recovery, which fails and goes parabolic to 200 ADR, that day will lose you thousands. But those are the days you need to hedge the opposite way. But that's discretion. So, you know, you need to be, and, you know, if there's big news coming up, you choose whether to get out of that news or not. It's a personal decision. Some people will hold through the news hoping to make $1 million. Some people will get out before the news because they know that it could lose them $1 million. Which one are you? It's discretion. There is no right, wrong. There is no best, worst. There is different. There is no set file that is better than another set file. It's different. And whatever you backtest over a period of time is going to show you what happened with the set file you used over that period of time. That price action that happened here that you see on the chart has never happened in the past in the same way, and it will never happen again in the future in the same way. There's never been 2 days in trading with identical price action in the history of mankind. So everything you do in the backtest is never going to happen the same way in the future because you're never going to get the same price action, which is why we use robustness testing and system parameter permutation testing to show us variances on a strategy. So if you have a strategy that has a beautiful result there, change the system parameters. So maybe if you're using RSI 70 as the entry, what does the RSI 72, 74, 76, 78, and 80 give you? What does the RSI 68, 66, 64, 62, and 60 give you? They're all going to give you different results. But if every single one of those results is a positive outcome, that system parameter permutation test shows you the system is robust. Because in the past, if you got in anywhere between 60 to 80 on RSI and you sold it, you made money. So in the future, it doesn't matter where you sell within a large variance, you will make money. If only the 70 works and everything from 72 and 68 below and above is a loss, the system parameter permutation test is telling you that the chances of that working in the future are very, very small, because this is all that works. You have a much larger amount of stuff in the past that didn't work. So if you've got a bigger variance that is negative, don't use that strategy. This is why we cover system parameter permutation testing to death in the member streams, because it's the most important thing in strategy testing. Somebody gives you a set file and says, look at this, this makes billions of pounds. Do a permutation test on it and then give it back to them and say, that one does, but the others all make a massive loss. Not going to work. If they all make a massive profit, don't tell anybody and go and trade it, because you just found the Holy Grail. Oh, we wish. The best you can hope for is something around about, 60% variance is rough. So look at the result. Imagine 60% more and 60% less. If the 60% less is still profitable, you've got a robust strategy. That's all you can hope for in the future. And obviously that's assuming every single trade. When you're looking at backtesting as well, the other thing people miss and don't take into account is the variance of what happens when your internet goes down. What happens when you're on holiday? What happens the day the dog pukes up and you don't manage to get that trade on? What happens in all of those scenarios? Yeah. If you go on holiday for 2 weeks and don't trade, and that 2 weeks is where 20% of the annual profit was generated, your result ain't going to be anything like the back test, is it? Yeah. If you're testing a 2 pip spread and your broker gives you 4, your results are going to be completely different. If your broker charges you a $2 commission and you haven't incorporated $2 commission into it, your results are going to be completely different. So all back testing is ever going to give you is a rough idea of what's the best thing to do and what's the worst thing to do. So it's better to use a tight stop trailing, or is it better to use a wide stop trailing? Whether it's a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 1, a 2, a 1.5 and a quarter or something, that's going to tell you that this is going to happen, and that's going to tell you that that is going to happen. But every single candlestick pattern pullback is going to be to a different level, therefore a different stop on a different day is going to have a different effect. Sorry to be doom and gloom, but that's real. That's the real world that we live in. Beautiful move. Should have kept it on. Wrong decision. Closing. No, I'm going to close it out. I'm just going to move the stop up. So I'm locking in 274, which gives me 450. So £200 locked in. Target is 5R. And I'm just going to put the target up to 125. Something's happening with the euro by the looks of things. Or it's just a DAX buy. Maybe something's happening. This DAX is mainly motor stocks. A lot of it is motor stocks. So maybe there's a sector purchase going on in the motor stock sector. Doesn't actually look like the euro is weakening. But often you'll find the weakening of the euro when the DAX is rallying like that. In this case, it's the opposite. Or is that the US dollar dropping? US dollar dropping. Okay. Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens today. I just get the feeling it's one of those days where you just get the feeling that something's going to move. I don't know why. I've just got this feeling something's going to move today. Watch the ADR dash. You get these days where suddenly this all lights up and it's like whoo, something's going on. But we'll see. Right, that's it for the morning. Nothing else I've got to cover. So nice clean break trades again on one of them today on the DAX. So we're off. FTSE looks like it's going to break long. That's the Nasdaq. So FTSE upside, nothing to look at, is there? So this level here is your high. Yeah, so spot on that 3-bar reversal. Look, great example of a 3-bar reversal. Push, pause, pull. So that high there is basically the all-time high. So what, looking on an hourly chart where we are, this is where you're expecting to get the sellers coming in, the potential price action today. So this is the sort of day I'm not going to get out of the longs here. There's a high probability of a bounce, but if it breaks that all-time high, there's also a very high probability of a massive push today, because any liquidity sitting looking to short that will flip long as soon as that breaks, and you'll get a pop out the top of the high, which means that 125 is very achievable. So my situation today, with the profit that I have made, the best thing for me to do is, in effect, turn off hedge recovery and just accept the loss today. Or not, I can't turn it off now because it's already executed the hedge, which is what moves the TPs. But the best thing for me to do today is to remove these TPs. And if let's say this is a good example of how you use the EA and how you adjust your trading discretionary. Right now on this, I've got locked in 230. I'm happy to take 230 to 250 loss. So if I remove all of these TPs now, at the end of the day, the EA will close that out, because it can't get bigger and it can't get smaller because it's hedged with the same lot size. Yeah, so that is it. That's locked in. So if I remove that and I remove that, I'm guaranteed to lose that. If this pops today and hits 125 ADR, it will attempt to get a hedge recovery on for me. If this pops today and goes to 200 ADR, that will turn into a huge loss, because I would have closed my long positions and my shorts will be getting deeper and deeper and deeper into drawdown. So based on what's happened here, 560 locked in pretty much at the moment. That's just hit ADR, by the way. We are already at the average daily range high, and we're not even 1.5 hours into the session yet. So something's going on with the DAX today. We're in a big move. Stocks are being bought. Look, they're not really hopeful about what's happening with Trump next week, I don't think. But yeah, so getting out of that is the safest thing to do today. The dangerous thing to do is to try and take a hedge exit, and if that doesn't work, you're going to need to re-hedge it manually. So for me, because I'm going to be around all day, I'm happy to leave those TPs in place. I'm just going to set alerts here to tell me that we're at that level. Yeah, and unlikely we're going to hit the gap to the downside, but I will set an alert down there as well just to tell me that we're going to that level. So basically, if I'm not watching and I'm looking at another chart or something on another platform, this is going to say, pay attention, we're just about to get out. And then I can manually deal with what's going on. There's no news to drive this today. So we've got nothing that's going to spike it. You're not going to get an ADR spike for any reason, because there is nothing to drive it today. There is no more news. Building permits aren't going to move the market enough. Well, they don't usually, but it's very rare to get a high deviation on the building permits, because they don't make any difference. You know, I can get a building, getting a building permit is like saying I've bought a plot of land. So what? How does that help? It doesn't help anybody. Until you start to build a house on it, employ people and buy materials, nothing changes economically. If you buy a plot of land as a builder, you've bought a plot of land. So when you start to build, you have to employ people, which affects employment figures. You have to pay them, which affects economic money supply. And obviously you buy raw materials, which increases GDP, increases profitability of other businesses. Yeah. Then you sell those houses to generate profit, which makes your business stocks go up. And it's a cycle that starts to generate economic growth. So building permits, the reason it's orange is because it has no impact on economics, because you can buy as many plots of land as you like, but unless you start employing people, you're not helping. So it doesn't move the market. So that isn't going to do much today. That's it. So there's your 5R. So if you have left this on full auto today, well done. You got your 3R target. You've just got out your 5R target and you're done for the day. Job done. I'm just going to grab that up and lock in more. 377 on top of the 188. Another fantastic day. Nasdaq buying too. Looks like tech purchase. Quite a lot of tech in DAX. Yeah, could be. Yeah, Dow's going up as well, though. Look, everything's going up at the moment. So there's a stock sector purchase going on. We have got earnings starting to pick up now. So we're on the 17th. So we've had SLB today. So it's nothing to do with that. So we had SLB pre-market. Next week, we kind of start getting into the bigger names. Netflix aftermarket, some move will happen on Wednesday for Netflix. We've got the Pharma on Wednesday, Amex and Verizon next week. But the following week is where it all starts to kick off. So earnings fortnight really gets going on the 27th of January. So the big names are starting to come in, Meta and everybody's starting to come in, Apple, Intel, MasterCard, and then obviously we'll go into Google and everything the week after. So starting next Monday, the Monday after next, this is where we tend to get a lot of sector purchasing happening. But I have noticed over the last year or so, since interest rates have been the main market drivers, and we've had those high interest rate freezes going on, we've had actually less volatility during earnings fortnight than normal. The individual stocks have obviously moved, but the indices haven't benefited from it because we've had mixed results on a lot of these stocks. And the big stocks, so Tesla will have a lovely pop while Meta's having a bit of a drop, or vice versa. There doesn't seem to be any constant movement in all of the sectors. They kind of, I think, have started to stagnate a little bit. So earnings fortnight doesn't do what it used to do. Earnings fortnight was when you made your money. Earnings fortnight was like bang. And it always used to be when I was trading stocks. It was all about earnings, 4 times a year, earnings fortnight. That's when the money's made. You would make fortunes during earnings because you buy it and you hold it and it just goes. It doesn't seem to happen anymore. Not in the same way as I remember it, but I don't trade individual stocks anyway, so kind of miss it, but also don't. Hard. So first bear candle starting to form on the DAX M5. So that will be my exit. Look at these propulsion gaps. Nothing but really strong buying today. You never know. Highly unlikely, but you never know. There's no point in putting a TP on something that's going parabolic. Just get taken out on the trailer. Stuck on the FTSE though, look. Not able to make any movement. There's your new spike. Right, so that's me done for the day. Obviously, I'll trade the US session this afternoon as well. NASDAQ and the Dow, see if we can get some clean breaks there. I'll post the results as usual for that one. Yeah, and obviously position trading wise, just waiting to see what happens today. I don't know what's going to happen today. We'll have to wait and see what whether or not they decide to put some big moves in. But there's a high probability of some big moves, I think, because we've got Trump coming in. So, and next week it's Trump land. So basically, keep your eyes peeled on X and Facebook because the market will move because of social media, because Trump's back in town. So it will be good. Morning, Blue Trader. Have you just turned up? You know we're about to finish, right? It's 9:20. You've missed it. You're going to have to watch the replay. How is the weather in Pontevedra? I'm going cloudy. I'm waiting for a weather update now. I hope you're not on a really bad delay, because that means I'm going to have to sit here for an hour waiting for your news report of the weather. It's cloudy here. Happy weekend together and happy week. I'm off next week. Okay, Lucas, no problem. Watch the members replays. I see you have a green star, which is good. So watch the replays. I can't wait for the weather report. I'll be here all day. I've got things to do. I need to get to the gym. So yeah. Right, I'll be back next week. It's stinking hot in Perth. Thanks for that. I remember when I was in Perth, it was 40 degrees. I went to Rottnest Island and nearly died. Yeah, love Perth. I've got relatives in Perth. It's very, very hot. Not as hot as when I went to the middle, though. Anyway, so yeah, I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Discord. Other than that, we'll be back Monday as usual. We'll do the kickoff for the week, and we'll have a look at all the news coming up next week. And more importantly, we'll have a look at what we think might happen with Trump. So busy week next week. Got a lot of stuff. It's PMI week, CPI week, and interest rates for the yen. All right. So have a good weekend. Anything you need, let me know in Discord. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good day.